Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to all of our JubiRev, JubiMax teammates. I know it's been a tough couple of weeks with all the information. I just got off a phone call, and guys, I haven't felt as good as I'm feeling now in a little bit. It's been a tough road to hoe, and I know that you guys out there, as you're building your businesses and you've got teammates, or if it's just you, that there have been things that you've been concerned about. You understand why we're doing what we have to do, but there's still some lingering things that were there, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to share something in just a few moments. Don't have all the details, but enough for you to say, okay, all right, whew, thank you. At least we can, I understand that's going to be taken care of. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in a few moments. I am going to show off a little bit of the PowerPoint. My focal point tonight is not to go and do a full how you go from your home team, or I think the company may call it A team, to a max team. But I do have some visuals that I wasn't able to show on last night, and some visuals that I wasn't able to show on the webinar this afternoon. So I do want to show that, and that'll be kind of our quick review of that part. And then what we want to then do is turn our attention to as many questions and answers, get as many of your questions answered as we possibly can. Now, I made a mistake when we were on the webinar last night. It was my intent that just as soon as we get off the webinar that I would reset this link for 8 o'clock tonight, in which case you would have gotten an email from GoToWebinar. I forgot that, and there was no webinar that was scheduled until about 20 minutes ago. So if someone would do me a favor, if you're in any of the Skype rooms or the Facebook rooms, if you would maybe go to those rooms real quickly and just let our following, our audience know that we are live right now for the 8 p.m. webinar, because people may not have gotten that notice. So if someone would do that for me, if Alita would help me out with that, I would be immensely appreciative. All right, so now let's open up the questions box here. Tell us who you are, tell us where you're from, and again, I just got off a conference call, and we got some much wanted, really good news that we're going to share. I don't have all the details, but enough for you to say, okay, here we go. Hey, Minnie from Brooklyn, how are you? Joyce, fantastic to have you. Hey, Louise from Down Under, good to have you. Wally in Kansas City, fantastic to have you. Hey, Foy, I know we've got to connect. We'll make sure that happens. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for your patience. George and Marin, they're in Australia. Good to see you. Zeke and Jerry in South Carolina. Fred in Maryland, good to see you. John in Asheville, fantastic to see you. Elaine and Andy, wonderful to have you. Nedra, Arian from Kentucky. Sam, good to see you, my friend. Hey, Donna from Michigan, and Nedra from New York, and Lady Di from Charlotte, North Carolina. Anne Marie from Massachusetts, Shannon from Charlotte, Michael in Alabama, Rod in Connecticut, Terry in, hey Terry, what's WIA? I'm not sure where that is. Is that supposed to be Washington? I don't know, or Wisconsin, I'm not sure. But welcome, Terry. Cynthia in Maryland, Dee in Australia, Kirk in Idaho, Vicky in Vegas, Matthew in Maryland, excuse me, Aubrey in Alabama, Shelley in Virginia, Kristen, Kenny, good to have you, Alice in Florida, good to have you. Okay, let's go on. I think our recording is started. Let's go on and get started. Most of what we're going to share tonight is going to be Q&A. I will share with you just a couple of visuals. The first thing I want to do before I do that, first I want to say thank you to each and every one of you that believe enough in us that even through this transition period, and anytime any company makes a compensation adjustment, if it's not a pure enhancement where a company is adding a new bonus here or adding more of a percentage payout there, you know, if a company has to add a new requirement here, that's an adjustment. People don't like adjustments even if it's good for them. I can tell you, quick story. Today, as I went into my AWeber, I noticed that AWeber did a facelift. They did some adjustments, okay? And it's probably good for me. There's a little video that you can watch or what have you. But I was like, I want my old AWeber back. I want what I'm used to because I'm a creature of habit just like you. I want to thank you. I want to thank you, those of you that have stood the course and said, hey, you know, I know we've got to make these modifications, these enhancements. You know, let me see what's going on. Let me understand it. Let me come to the webinars. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That means the world to us. Now, real quickly, I'm going to show a couple slides. I just got off a phone call. One of the biggest concerns that people have addressed, and rightfully so, is last night we discussed the fact that the daily leadership bonus, obviously with the DLB, that's based on the company's revenue. And if you have sales, let's say sales are flat, they haven't dipped in this example, but they're flat, but you have points increasing, then your reward per point is going to decrease. So if, for instance, excuse me, if the company took in $1 million for the day as revenue and decided to share 50% of that, or $500,000, and there were 40 million points that were in the system, when you do your math on that, that comes up to a reward per point of 0.0125. All right, just do your math on that. Well, if sales stayed constant the next night, all right, and the company shared $500,000 the next night, these are all example numbers, but the next night it was 40,367,000 points, well then obviously your reward per point would be lower. Sales stayed constant, but there was an ever-increasing amount of points. Now, what happens if sales dip? Instead of $1 million coming in, all right, so this really should have been $1 million in this example, and the company shared 50%. That's where the $500,000 came in. Okay, so if all of a sudden sales dip, and by the way, I'm just using these numbers as numbers. I'm not saying these are the company's numbers. If sales dip to $500,000, and we told our audience last week we anticipated that sales were going to dip during this transition period. Why? Because many of us weren't going to want to go out right now and say, hey, John, Mary, Susan, come and join, because we didn't know what the compensation plan was going to look like. We didn't know what all the when all the dust settled, what's everything going to look like. So do I really want to go out and get my buddy to go out and make even a $100 purchase or a $2,500 purchase? Let me just sit back and wait and see what's going to go on. So obviously sales have taken a dip. Sales have taken a dive. We'll just be honest. Sales have taken a dive. Okay. So now let's say if you went down to 500,000, all right, and so the company was sharing in this example 250,000 for the day, all right, but you still got the 40+ million points that may be still growing, then obviously what that's going to mean is that the DLB is going to be lower. And then what happens, unfortunately, with the culture, not anyone's fault, not your fault, not my fault, the culture of revenue sharing is that when the revenues are lower and that shows up in your DLP, then people are more likely now to set their settings so that more of their daily reward goes towards cash so they can commission that out. I don't begrudge anybody doing that. It's your money, all right? If you want to set it to 60%, you can set it to 60%, okay? But then what happens is, because of how the company had been treating any monies going to more Jubi bucks as revenue, then that means that that night the company's going to look at the amount that came in as new sales for the day, is going to look at the sales that were made because of the new Jubi bucks that people were rewarded, and it would look at that figure, and then that's how it would figure out its revenue, because that was considered revenue. Okay. Now we know going forward that won't be considered revenue because of the things that we've discussed the last couple of weeks, but that's how things have been in the system up to this point. So if people are sending more money to eCash, and I'm not begrudging and not berating and not telling you not to do that, but if people have been doing that, then that means that the next night there's less revenue, because you have less revenue coming from the promoters and going to Jubi bucks. You have less revenue coming in from the outside, because promoters have, let me check things out, let me see what's going on. So that reduces the daily revenue maybe the next night. And that's what we've seen. That's what we would expect to happen. And until all the new enhancements are in place and people wrap their heads around the enhancements, and those that are going to build with us go back to building, and those who are not going to build with us, don't build with us, and that's okay. We love them just the same. We would expect that DLB is going to be lower. Now, here's the thing. The biggest thing I've been getting in the field is, okay, I get that. I understand that. But my points, I'm Jade. My points retire in 85 days. And I had a good, start with the DLB, but now the DLB is lower, and so I'm not making as much. My points are going to retire, okay? Or I'm at 85 days, or I'm at 95 days, or I'm at 105 days. I don't know all the details. I don't know the extension periods. What I do know is that the company does plan, and I'm hoping that we might get an official announcement as early as tomorrow night, okay? I'm hoping that could come as early as tomorrow night. But what I do know, here's the good news I want to share with you, is that if you are Jade and your points would normally expire in 85 days, you're going to get an extension. And it's not going to be a week or a 2-week extension. It's going to be a pretty lengthy extension. I don't know the full time. I know the numbers that were thrown out to me, but I don't want to mention those because until there's an official announcement, okay? If you are Ruby, your points also are going to get an extension. Your extension will be a little bit longer. So your emeralds, Jades, your points are going to be extended, so they'll live longer, they'll earn longer. The company understands they're not earning as much as what they were a couple of weeks ago. And although this is revenue sharing and what have you, the company is sensitive to that. So your points will earn much longer than 85 days. Ruby, your points will, 80 days. Jade, Ruby, your points will earn for longer than 85 days. I don't know the full extent, but it's not just going to be an extra 5 or 10 or 15 days, okay? Same thing with Emerald. Your points would earn longer. Diamond, your points would earn longer. So while we're in this transition period, what I want us focusing on is not so much what was the reward per point, what was the reward per point, because the points are going to earn for a much longer period of time. And again, I'm not talking about a 1-week extension. I'm not talking about a 2-week extension or even a 3-week extension. I'm hearing a lot longer than that for all ranks involved. Now, obviously, we got to stay engaged, meaning we got to make sure we got our CV and all that other stuff. All right, we got our personal volume and our CV and those things. But this way, you can say it with me. Everybody do this. Go on. 1, 2, 3. Everybody. Okay, so your points are going to earn for a much longer period of time, and we'll wait for the official announcement from the company, which I hope comes as early as tomorrow night. Okay, now let's do one other thing here, and this is a good time for you to be going on and putting your questions in the questions box, because just as soon as I finish what I'm about to do, we get to the optional Q&A, and we'll get to as many questions as we possibly can. Okay, here we go. Bear with me. By the way, get that out to your teams. I don't know the time frame. Just let everyone know. Let them know in the Facebook rooms. Let them know in the Skype chat rooms that there's going to be an official announcement from the company shortly that's going to extend everyone's points. Now, what will happen is, my understanding is, there's going to be at some point the company's going to set a date, and it's going to say, on this date, we're going to look at all points in the system, all qualified points in the system, and we're going to grandfather those points, okay? So what that means is, many of you still have Jubi Bucks, all right? So if you are still getting Jubi Bucks out and those Jubi Bucks are being used and you earn additional points as a result of, then you'd want to, score as many points as you can. I'm not telling you to go and, I'm not telling you to come out of pocket and purchase any more Jubi Bucks. Hear what I'm saying? I'm not telling you to come out of pocket and purchase any more Jubi Bucks. What I'm saying is, many of us already have Jubi Bucks because we're still earning right now Jubi Bucks on a daily basis, and or we had Jubi Bucks previously that we had not given away and gotten the Jubi points on. So during this time, what I would be doing is I would be focusing on earning as many points as I possibly can during this time, so that when they say the grandfather date, whatever that date happens to be, you've got more points because all the points that you have at that grandfather time frame are going to live longer than the normal 80, 85, 95, 105 days. And again, I'm not talking about a 1 or 2 or 3 week extension. Okay, all right. Now we started talking about the maximum impact compensation plan yesterday, and I'm not going to go over the full thing that I did yesterday because I want to get to your questions and answers, but I do have some some slides that I didn't have yesterday that just helps to better illustrate some things. I'm going to do this very quickly. Give me a moment. Yes.
You did not have to tell them to get into the Skype room and put it up there. It was up there by the time you finished saying it.
I did.
By the time the words were out your mouth, it was in the Skype room.
All right. I'm just going to do this real quickly, okay? Again, so what we talked about on yesterday is that the DLB will still be there. The character of it is going to change. I won't cover all of that today because of time. And we talked about going forward, what are the things that we're going to be focusing on. And we're going to have these couple of packages. And one thing I will say, Queen, as I just got off of a conference call here just a few moments ago, here's going to be the great thing. While we want people that come aboard to become Fast Start qualified, and one of the ways that they can become Fast Start qualified is to purchase their own Fast Start package. Now, those of us that are already in the system, we're already upgraded. We do not have to purchase a Fast Start package, okay? As a matter of fact, the company's not even going to allow us to purchase a Fast Start package. Queen, that way nobody says, oh, now I got to purchase something else. No. Get your points grandfathered. Get as many points as you can grandfathered, all right? Make sure you keep your qualifications in place so that you earn on those points, and then you earn on those grandfathered points. And if you don't want to do anything else, bless you. The reason the company is doing that is the company knows this has been a difficult transition, and the bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, the company certainly understands the hard work and effort and energy that we all put in well before we got to this stage. And I told you before, I didn't know what the results were going to be or how it was going to happen, but I told you before that your points would not be in vain. Your points would not go in vain. Okay. All right. So now, in any event, Queen, even as we start this new compensation plan, if John was introduced to the business and he loved everything he heard, but he didn't have the resources to purchase one of the packages, and it looks like it's going to be a package that comes in at just under $500, so it looks like it's going to be about $499. And the second package, the Grand Poobah package, looks like it's going to be about $1250. Okay. If John didn't have the resources, he can still come aboard, Queen, and he can still get package qualified. It just means that he needs to enroll a few more packages. He would need to enroll 3 packages to become Fast Start qualified. He still needs to build out his A team. So what he can do is purchase the package, which most people are going to want to do. Or if he doesn't have the resources, but he comes in and he gets to work and he can still buy some Jubi Bucks to earn some Jubi points. Remember, the daily leadership bonus is still going to be there. There's going to be incentives for him or her to earn some multiplying points. In other words, Queen, someone may give away some Jubi Bucks, give 100 Jubi Bucks away, but they may wind up earning 300 points by giving away 100 Jubi Bucks that got used. Or someone may get an auto ship customer and they may get 5 times. These are, don't quote me on the numbers, but I've heard these numbers. They may get 5 times the amount of that first auto ship order in terms of points. So the DLB is still there. Our new folks can still come into the DLB, can start earning. Our focus is going to be on getting people to also earn through the Fast Start bonus system. And to do so, we want to make sure that they finish out what I called yesterday, what it looks like the company is going to wind up calling it the A team. I called it the home team yesterday. Let's call it the A team today. I'll do this real quick. All right, all a person will need is 6 people to fill out their A team. All right, now 2 of those, represented here in the green, would need to be personally enrolled. So John comes aboard with you today. In order for him to complete his A team, he needs to enroll 2 folks that purchase one of those packages. Now, it could be a preferred customer that purchases the package, because I actually believe there's going to be more retail value than what the package goes for. And so maybe that happens. But for the most part, it's probably going to be someone who enrolls and is interested in the business. They come aboard and they purchase one of those packages. Now, as long as that person, John, has enrolled 2, and from the 2, however it happens, there are now 6 folks that have purchased packages. It could be John enrolled all 6. Or better yet, what we'll probably teach with our team is, hey, let's go and get 2 and help those 2 get 2, and now you got your 6. Okay. When this happens, you've got those 6 sales there. You now become a max team leader, and this is now when you can start earning your $1,000 and your $10,000 bonuses. So what happens is, now that you are a max team leader, you'll enroll one other person. Okay. One other person will start your max team. So you could maximize this new compensation plan if you're on the building side of things with just 3 personal enrollees. You don't have to be a great recruiter. Once you enroll that 3rd person, and listen, I'm going to tell you, that 3rd person that you enroll here in this example, or that person who starts your max team, is in a very favored position, because now what you could do is you could say, hey, I'm going to spend my time and resources helping you build your A team. They'd be building their A team within your max team. Anytime you have any combination of 6 sales of the $500 variety or a cumulative amount of $3,500 in starter volume sales. If you have 2 people that purchased a $500 package in your max team, that's $1,000. If you had 2 people that purchased $1,250 packages, that's $2,500. You just hit $3,500. So it didn't take you in that example 6 sales to get a $1,000 bonus. You maybe only happened in 4 sales, okay? Or maybe it only happened in 3. Maybe there's 3 people that came aboard with the $1,250. I know there's going to be some other incentives. I've heard a couple different incentives. Don't know which route the company's going to go, so I don't want to say this. I'll let the company say this. I know there's going to be some incentives for people to want to consider the $1,250. And again, for the last 2 years in the revenue sharing space, the way that we've promoted it, you know, we typically had systems where people can make a $10,000 purchase. So a $1,250 purchase is not going to be considered a big purchase, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to get a bunch of 1250s, and 500s. Now, I don't know what the ratio will be, but I think we're going to get a bunch of 1250s because there's going to be a major incentive for folks to consider the 1250. Either way, 6 sales or 3,500 in your max team and starter volume, $1,000 bonus. Then it resets to another 6 sales or another 3,500, another $1,000 bonus. Then it resets, another 6 sales, another 3,500 in volume, another $1,000. And you continue doing that, you continue doing that, you continue doing that to either you hit 100 sales of the $500 variety or 65,000 in starter volume packages. Again, because you could have some 500s, some 1250s, some 1250s, some 500s. Now, the commissioning on this is only based on those starter packages. If we're dealing with other customers that are just preferred customers or just buying the weight loss, what have you, that volume is going to go into the unit level. This volume here in the bonus structure is specifically related to those starter packages of either the $499 or the $1250. For our international audience, I got a call. I didn't get a chance to check the email. I was told to check something because it looks like something that we've been waiting on as one of the digital delivery products is ready to go. I won't say which one until I can confirm it. I do know that with our international audience, obviously our focal point at this point is going to be on digital delivery products A lot of that's right now is going to center around travel, because there are travel packages that people will be able to purchase that have a $4.99 or $12.50 value very easily. And then international leaders, I know the company is wide open. You know, I know there's been talk about Jubi Mindset, which I have seen part of that. I love that. But we'd love to have our international folks. If there are some digital delivery products that you guys have seen that works in your area, what have you, that can be priced in one of these packages, please let the company know, okay? Please let the company know the company's open to those ideas. All right, so whether we're talking international, there'll be the $4.99 and the $12.50. Whether we're talking U.S., there'll be the $4.99 and $12.50. In the U.S., our focus is going to be on the physical delivery products there. The physical delivery products there, and then outside the U.S. is going to be on the digital delivery products. And one of the digital delivery products that I know that we've been waiting on for some time, I've got to check the email and make sure it works the way that I think it's supposed to work. And then if so, then it looks like that one's just about ready to go. We'll let you know in the next day or two. Okay. All right. Here we go. So that's all I wanted to cover right there. $1,000 bonuses again and again and again. $10,000 bonuses again and again and again. 1K, 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 boom, 10K. 1K, 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 boom, 10K. Now, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, give me just a moment. I think my door's open because I'm hearing my little girl make a lot of noise. So I'm going to step away for just a moment. Queen, if you would open up the questions box. When I get back, we're going to start with Q&As, okay? I'll step away for just a moment.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. And how is everyone on this beautiful, beautiful evening? As soon as he comes back, we will get started on the questions. And that's okay. Lamont will be back shortly. We will get started on the questions at that point. The door must be a long way away, guys. And if you're back and talking to Lamont, we can't hear you yet.
I'm sorry?
I said, if you're back and talking, we can't hear you yet.
Yeah, I just came back. We normally don't have a webinar at this time, and I forgot to tell my wife that we had a webinar, and so now all the kids are out of school, and they were being, well, my little girl was being my little girl.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. All right, are we ready for questions?
Yes. What is the interface between the product packages and the present subscriptions / auto shipments? Are we still going to get auto shipments equal to our subscription level?
Yeah, what's going to probably happen with that? Who is that said, what is the interface? Somebody who's very intellectual. I got kicked out of college.
That would be our Miss Vicky in Las Vegas.
What is the interface? Okay, when someone purchases, Vicky, when someone purchases the package, they will not need to, right now when somebody would come aboard, they would purchase a monthly subscription, max bucks, then purchase their, whatever the product is from there. Then they would choose how many Jubi bucks that they wanted to purchase, okay? Well, they don't need to have, when they first purchase that initial package, whether it's $4.99 or $12.50, there'll be plenty enough products in that initial purchase for their first 30 days, all right? Then what they'll do is, so they'll purchase the package first, all right, number one. Then number two, they're going to choose their auto ship. I don't know that it's going to be a monthly subscription. Now, this may take a little bit longer to program, but I don't think it's going to be a situation, Vicki, where it's a $15 a month, $50 a month, $100 a month, $200 subscription. I think what it's going to be is, here is your auto ship options, or here are the products that you want. If you're international, here are the digital delivery products that you want, and this is what it costs. And if you happen to have a product that's $17 and that's all you want on auto ship, well, that gives you the volume to be Jade. Or if you want auto ship products that come up to $52.17. All right, then your auto ship is $52.17. That gives you the volume to become Ruby. So I think what's going to happen with this, Vicki, and again, this may not happen all next week when the packages roll out, is that ultimately people will choose a package, assuming they want to start with the package one, then choose the products they want or the services they want for their auto ship. And so there still is going to be an auto ship culture. Obviously, what that's going to do, Vicki, is that's going to feed the unilevel in terms of a compensation standpoint. All auto ships, whether they're coming from customers, will have a preferred customer program, or whether they're coming from promoters who are on auto ship. That's going to feed the unilevel, as well as when a customer maybe isn't on auto ship, but they just purchased the product. What we'll also probably see, Queen, is a differentiation in pricing. We'll probably see a retail price for that customer who is not a preferred customer, for that customer who's not on auto ship. So they'll pay a little bit more, and then they'll be incentivized to get on auto ship by getting the preferred customer price. So I don't know exactly how that's going to map out, Queen. It may be that the prices that you see today are the preferred customer prices, and then there might be a little bump up of a little bit for a retail price. And then, Queen, if you have a customer that makes a purchase at retail, then obviously there'd be a difference between retail and then the wholesale or preferred customer pricing. There'd be some commissioning there, as well as that business volume is going to go into the unilevel as well. Okay. Next question.
All right. How many levels down does your max team go, and how far? I mean, and i.e., to get your 100 sales, and what is
your
max interface thing?
Interface. Your max team. Your max team is an unlimited width and an unlimited depth. Unlimited width and unlimited depth. So let's say you get your A team in place. All right, your 6 there. You now become a max team leader, and you can enroll as many as you want in your max team, and then that can go as deep in depth. So let's go back and look at the folks here. Bear with me. Give me a moment. Okay, so let's go back here. Now let's say that these folks are now in your max team as opposed to building out your A team. So let's say these folks are in your max team, and let's call this guy here Harold, the first guy here up to the left. All right, so that's Harold. Well, Harold, you can't see it?
I didn't see anything move.
Okay, not my fault. Thank you. Okay. All right, so let's say Harold here is in your max team. Now, in order for Harold to get promoted to start his own max team, Harold's responsibility is I'm going to call it 2 and 6. 2 that he personally enrolls, a total of 6 in his team. 2 and 6. 2 and 6. Well, Marlene here, what's she responsible for? 2 and 6. Rodney, 2 and 6. Catherine here, 2 and 6. Now, they're 2, so let's say that Catherine gets promoted. So that means there's 6 other promoters now in your max team that want to get to max team qualification. And so that can go, if you were looking at levels, that could go 10, 15, 50, 500. There's unlimited depth there, as well as unlimited width. So you take some of the folks that are business builders. You take, Tyron. You take Aaron and Shara. You take Ryan. You take Suzanne. You take Coach May. You take some of these folks that have personally enrolled a bunch of folks. They're in the max team. They're going to continue to do what they do to personally enroll, but also now they've got a huge incentive, even more, and these are good people anyway. They would have done it anyway, to really help grow the folks that are in their max team, because they get those $1,000 bonuses and then $10,000 bonuses and so on and so forth. Unlimited width, unlimited depth. Say it with me. Unlimited width. You can enroll as many folks, go as wide as you want in your max team. Unlimited depth. There is no depth limits there. Now, while we are all building both our A teams and then ultimately our max teams. This is what we want to get to. That's the goal, get to the max team and start to really build out that max team. Simultaneously, you're building your unilevel. Because when John, Mary, Susan, Catherine come aboard and they purchase a package, and then they also choose an auto ship for the next month, they're not going to have an auto ship this month because they're getting the package. When they choose an auto ship for next month, 30 days from when they have purchased the package, well, then that volume gets paid in the unilevel. That volume gets paid in the unilevel. And one thing I forgot to mention, to me, this is just as huge, maybe in time, huger. Obviously, the bonuses get people making money win right now, win right now, win right now. But there's going to be a check match bonus. So that anyone in your unilevel, or as a friend of mine says, uni level. Hello, the president says uni level.
Yeah. Somebody was picking at him about that the other night.
So in the uni level, okay, on your 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th level, you're going to get matching bonuses. So what that means is, what we've shown, Queen, is if it built out perfectly, and we know it won't build out perfectly, if it built out perfectly, we know it won't build out perfectly. If you had 3 on your first level in your uni level, if you had 9 on your second level, 3 getting 3, 27 on your third. By the time you get to your 5th level, there's 243 folks that may be there if it built out perfectly. We know it won't build out perfectly, but if it did, 243. So obviously you can have more, you can have less. So you'd be matching the residual incomes of 243 people. It doesn't matter how they got on your 5th level. So T. Lamont Silver Sr. is going to be on somebody's 5th level. Queen's going to be on somebody's 5th level, and on somebody else's 6th level, and somebody else's 7th level, and somebody else's 8th level. And Queen, you go out and you start to build your residual income. It may take you a little while, but you get to the point where you get 10 grand a month. Somebody's matching that. Somebody else is matching that. Somebody else is matching that. Somebody else is matching that. Now, Queen, I know we've got this transition in thinking. I know it. I understand it. I know it. I understand it. But, Queen, I will tell you that if I had not been so absorbed over the last 2 years, and I saw this compensation plan with these bonuses and with these matching incomes in the residual side, if I had seen this 2 years ago and hadn't been on the revenue sharing path 2 years ago, I would have been promoting this compensation plan.
Okay.
Next question.
Next question. I mean, part of that same question, we went back to the interface thing. Give me a moment.
Intellectual people, gotcha. Okay.
What is the interface between legs and the Jubi Suite and the Max team?
Okay. Just understand, you basically have 2 structures, but there's still it still is going to follow the enrollment tree. So now let's go back. Give me a moment. Okay. So when you bring on John, all right, and John starts his A team, doesn't matter if you're still building out your A team or if you're now on your Max team. John is still personally enrolled by you. And as such, he would currently be on your first level, in your unilevel, and then obviously you have the option to place him somewhere else in your unilevel. Okay, you can place him on with one of your, if he's one of your first 3, then maybe he stays on your first level. If you already have your first 3 in place, what we've been teaching our team is to consider building in 3s. Build 3 strong legs, and this was before, Queen. This was before the 6th, 7th, and 8th level matching came into play. Now with the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th matching, to me, it's even more important to build in 3s. In other words, so if you personally enroll 4, 5, 6, 17, instead of having 4, 5, 6, 17 wide in your unilevel, have those 3 and start to place any of your additional enrollees somewhere in your 8-level structure. You teach your team to do the same somewhere in their 8-level structure, and you then start seeing people show up on your what? 5th level, 6th level, 7th level, 8th level, and you start getting those matching incomes there. So doesn't matter when John comes aboard if you are still building your A team or if you're in your max team, he still is going to be on your first level and your unilevel until such time that you then move him with the Jubi Suite somewhere else. So nothing changes there with the Jubi Suite. Nothing changes with that unilevel relationship. What will be a major enhancement are those matching bonuses on levels 5, 6, 7, and 8. Next question.
What is the link to the pre-recorded BizOp webinar and we can send prospects to, and is that recording the latest updated webinar?
No, what we did, I posted on YouTube. I didn't tie it to a URL, so we'll probably tie it to a URL for ease for the time being. I posted on YouTube late last night, sent it out to our audience today, talking about the Max team and what have you. But I did do that without the benefit of some of these slides. So I went clean and I used a whiteboard and what have you. You can use that, but I would use that more for training right now. And then what I plan to do between tomorrow and Friday is to take this PowerPoint. There's some language I know that needs to be cleaned up, but it was just kind of sent to me as a sample to take this PowerPoint and do a recording, and then make sure that and do it really more, Queen, from a new person's perspective and not just a kind of a training perspective, so that people can have a recording not only to look at for themselves to better understand, but then people can go on and start getting that message out, because my understanding is these packages could be ready sometime early part of next week. Okay. So we could be in the position where we could actually bring John aboard next week. He can purchase a package, my understanding, next week. You get your commission. What I didn't cover on this was your direct sale commission. Whether you're in your A team or your Max team, if you personally enroll someone that purchases the package, you're going to get a 10% direct sale commission. So if they purchase the $500 pack, you get $50. If they purchase the $12.50 pack, you get $125. That would be in addition, if you're in your Max team, to any Max team bonuses that you would receive. Next question.
Okay, other than purchasing product, what is the advantage of a new customer purchasing one of the new packages versus just upgrading and buying JubiBucks? Okay,
the big advantage is that that's going to be one of their one of the ways that they can qualify for Fast Start bonuses. You have to be Fast Start bonus qualified, which means you have to either obviously you've got to get to your Max team to get the $1,000 bonuses and what have you, but you need to either purchase the package yourself or enroll 3 that purchase packages. So if I purchase the package myself, Queen, then I can enroll 2. They can enroll 2, or however it works out, and then I get to my Max team, and then I can enroll my 3rd once my Max team has started and start working from there, my Max team. If I don't purchase the package, then I would need to enroll, I think if I'm understanding this correctly, I think I would need to enroll 3 that purchase packages in my A team, and then that would mean I would enroll a 4th once my 6 sales were completed in my A team to start my Max team. So essentially, legally, from a U.S. standpoint, you can't mandate you got to purchase this package. What you can do is incentivize people to want to purchase the package, because one of the qualifiers is, hey, either I purchased the package or I got to do a little bit more work. And most people will want to just go on and purchase the package. But that would be one of the reasons why they would want to consider to purchase the package beyond getting the product. Now, hear this. What's great about that, Queen, is that if a person loves what they hear, but they don't quite have the resources, there's no reason for them to not to still enroll with you, get engaged. Maybe they don't have $500 or $1,250 to purchase the package, but maybe they can purchase 50 or 100 JubiBucks. Now, will we get commission on that going forward? We know the answer to that is no. That's one of the reasons why the company's putting these packages and the big Fast Start bonuses to essentially replace that. But, Queen, them purchasing however many JubiBucks they can afford to purchase, giving those away, those JubiBucks being used will allow them to earn points that they will see in the daily leadership bonus. So they can start to see something in the daily leadership bonus. Okay, next question.
Wait a minute, T. Lamont, I just got kicked out of the recording.
Okay, all right, you want to go and pick that back up then?
I
okay.
will.
Well, who asked that last question? Let me see if I can.
It is 8:15. I mean, Monique asked the last one, and now we're on Aubrey.
Aubrey, okay, give me a moment.
And if at some point, if at some point you can repeat the answer to that last question for the recording, that would be great. Let me go back and try to get in it.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. All right, guys. I tell you what. Let me hold off until I know the Queen is back, so that we're getting this audio recorded. Aubrey, I think you are next. Monica, I think Monique. Excuse me. Forgive me. I think that was your question that we just answered. So Aubrey, you are next up here. Okay. Darn. Lancelot, I see your question. I'll answer you after Aubrey. All right. So make sure that all of your teammates know that there's going to be some type of extension. I've heard some numbers, but I don't want to say. I want there to be an official corporate announcement. In the case it's a different extension time. I don't want. I want to make sure that nobody's disappointed or what have you. Okay. If you are Jade, typically your points would expire in 80 days. Your points are going to have a much longer lifespan than those 80 days. Now, what will probably happen, my understanding is, that it will be the points that are grandfathered in, and then new points that you earn would be under the normal schedule, from what I understand. But we know we have a lot of people that, because of their very hard work, because of their belief in the system, because they made purchases and they gave JubiBucks away, and that's what the system was saying at the time, you accumulated Jubi points. And while we're in this transition, we continue to expect the sales will be down. We understand that. That means the daily leadership bonus will be lower. We want to make sure that your points can live longer. If you're Ruby, your points are going to have even a longer extension. If you're Emerald, your points will have even a longer extension. If you're Diamond, your points would have even a longer extension. So everybody's points are going to be extended. Don't know the time frames. I'm hoping that there might be an official announcement as early as tomorrow night, because I know that Jay Joshua is going to be on the Thursday night webinar. Are we back, Queen?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, good. All right, you want to read Aubrey's question? You want me to do it or what?
Aubrey? Oh, I thought you had done Aubrey.
No. I wanted to say this for the audio recording, so I just went back over some stuff we said before. Okay, if our associates, our free members upgrade before June 10th,
would they be grandfathered?
Would they be grandfathered, so to speak? Grandfathered, wait a minute.
As in the number of
not
points.
Having to buy. Okay, all right, so what she's saying is, if someone upgrades before June 10th, would they be grandfathered in that they would not have to purchase a Jubi Executive Package or one of these starter packages in order to be qualified as a Max Team Advisor? No one has to be qualified. No one has to purchase a package to be qualified as a Max Team Advisor. Either a person purchases a pack. Now, all existing upgraded people, none of us will purchase any of the packages, okay? We'll start building out our A teams. Then we'll get to our Max team, and then we'll start getting the bonuses. All right, let me say that again. None of us that are upgraded are going to purchase a package. The system's going to flag us as if we had already purchased a package for that qualifier. So we'll start building out our A teams, our 2 and 6. Then we'll get promoted to our Max team, and then we'll start building out our Max team and getting our $1,000 bonuses as that happens. So now Aubrey's question is, so if I have someone upgrade that's an associate now, and they do it before June 10th, and I guess, is that Monday's date? I'm not sure, okay?
I'm not sure.
Then would they also
Yes.
Not have to purchase the package. The answer to that is yes, but let me tell you what I would suggest. I would suggest something differently, okay? Because what the company didn't want to do is the company didn't want to say, hey, Aubrey, you need to purchase one of these packages because you're already upgraded. Because obviously, Queen, some folks would say, and rightfully so, well, wait a minute. I've been here from day one. I've been blood, sweat, and tears from day one. I've been building from day one. I understand these changes have to be made, but don't make me have to go out and buy a $500 or $1,250 package. I'm locked and loaded. I believe in the system. I'm not going anywhere. I'm continuing. But don't make me do that. That wouldn't be fair. All right. So the company's saying, well, no, we're not going to make you do that. Now, the other thing though is, Queen, I would have been willing to pay $500 or $1,250 to buy a package, which then means that would have been a sale for, I've got an enroller myself. I'm not direct to the company, though people think I am. I'm not direct to the company. All right, so I would have been willing to do that. The company says I can't do that. Okay, got it, understand it, can't do it. So let me tell you what my game plan is, Queen, to quickly get my 6 sales. I'm going back to, I'm starting with my genealogy as it is, my personally enrolled, because I've got quite a few folks that have not upgraded. And Queen,
yes,
I can go to those folks and say, hey, get in here and purchase one of these packages, because they hadn't upgraded.
Can I just say something really quickly?
Yes, Queen.
When I first tried to sign into the audio recording, I had a hard time, and it just kicked me out again.
Okay.
So,
okay. All right. Well, we'll just go on. No, we'll just go on. We'll go on.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
So I understand, Aubrey, what you're saying. I would look at it a little bit differently. I would want someone who's an associate to actually hear this message and want to purchase a package. I thought initially, Aubrey was saying, well, if I got somebody who wants to purchase a package right now, but they upgrade now, then what happens come June 10th? I would have them not upgrading until June 10th. I'd have them purchasing a package if possible. Now, if that person is not ready to purchase a package or what have you, and they go on and at least upgrade with a monthly subscription, sure. But I'd want them to purchase the package because I'd like you, Aubrey. I like you to get that sales commission one, and I like that to be one of your sales or one of your folks that gets a package that helps to start to complete your A team so you can more quickly get to your max team. Next question.
Suppose you were a diamond, but you've downgraded today. How would that work out with your extension?
Whatever you are when the grandfathering process starts. And the beautiful part about that, guys, excuse me, I'm on a parasite cleanse, Queen, and I guess they don't like this. Bear with me. Give me a moment. Whatever your rank is at the date of the grandfathering. So here's what I understand, Lancelot from Jamaica. What I understand is the company is going to offer extensions, and each rank will have a different extension. Obviously, a diamond will have a longer extension than a J, so on and so forth. And then there's going to be a date that says, okay, guys, by this date, all points that you have based on your rank are going to be grandfathered as of this date. I don't know what that date is, okay? And so what I would be strongly encouraging folks to do is to, be as high of a rank at that time. Now, what I do have to get some understanding and some clarity on, and I don't have that understanding or clarity right now because I had this conference call right before we got on the webinar, is once I'm grandfathered, Queen, with those points at that rank, does that mean that those points are, I think that's going to mean that those points are always grandfathered at that rank in terms of whatever the extension happens to be. But I need to make sure that I get an answer to that. I don't know just yet. So, Lancelot, part of the question I know, part of the question I need a little bit more clarity on. If you were Jade at the time of the grandfathering, I know, it's going to be that J time. I don't think you're going to be able to then come back and upgrade to a Ruby or what have you, and then take that battery of points and get any future extension beyond what the Jade would be. Okay? Next question.
Okay. If my promoter places an Emerald promoter under me in the Jubi suite, does that make me my GQV 100? And if so, will my paid as rank be Emerald instead even if I am only a Jade?
Okay, so you've asked a couple of great questions, Nina. So if your enroller placed an Emerald on your first level and you're a Jade, yes, that their $100 a month goes towards your group qualifying volume. The answer to that part is yes. The answer to your paid as rank has nothing to do with their rank is. It's got to do with what your rank is. So if your rank is that of a Jade, then you're still going to be paid as a Jade, even though you have an Emerald in your unilevel by virtue of the Jubi suite. All right? So that GQV does count for your GQV numbers, but your paid as rank is based on your rank, not theirs. Next question.
Okay. It was mentioned that there will no longer be commissions on JubiBuck purchases. Will there be overrides?
No, Monique. No, Monique. And this is one of the reasons why the packages are coming into place, because that obviously those are commissions that we're used to in the field. Those are being replaced. Why are they being replaced? We've done multiple webinars on this, and maybe you missed it, or maybe you missed it when we were talking about it. So let's just cover it real quickly. One of the challenges, one of the reasons that the company is doing everything that's happening right now, and none of us want it. We all want what we have come to know. All right, but we now know that what we've come to know has a lot of exposure. And so one of the big exposure points that the attorneys said is JubiBucks. Now remember, multiple attorneys. There's one attorney who says, I can defend your model pretty much as is, but that particular attorney is a little bit older. The concern is, I understand he's older and may not be in the best of health, so the concern is if we ever had Mr. Regulator knock on the door, what's his health going to be like? Since he's the one that says, hey, I can defend it. The other ones were saying, you need to make some changes. And one of the big things that was going back and forth with multiple attorneys is some of the attorneys are saying the JubiBuck, as we use it, is a sales aid, and thereby you cannot commission on it. Again, not a clear consensus, but to lower exposure, regulatory exposure, the company's taking the adage, and I agree with this. I don't like it, but I agree with it based on the law of the land. I wish the law of the land was different. I wish the regulators were different, you know, but I agree with what they're doing. We're not going to be commissioned on JubiBucks, one. We're not going to be commissioned on the override. So that means on the day-to-day payout of JubiBucks, right now I think we're still getting commission on it. But when all is said and done, on the day-to-day, no, we're not going to be commissioned on that. And that's one of the reasons the company had to look at, well, how do we replace that income? Because especially if someone is actively building their organization, you know, they've been used to John coming aboard, buying $2,500 in JubiBucks and getting a 10% commission, $250, and then the 5% commission went to someone else, and then the 1% commission, and then 0.5% through the Jubi suite. So unfortunately, that's going to go away. Don't want it to go away. I don't want it to go away, but it has to. It has to. It has to. That's why we have these new bonuses in place, $1,000 bonuses, $1,000 bonuses, $10,000 bonuses. I didn't even talk about the rank advancement bonuses. That could be like from $50,000 to up to, I think, $1 million rank advancement bonus. I don't know the details on all of that just yet other than the numbers. So hopefully you understand that. Next question.
Are the home team 6 like pass-ups, or are they part of the Max team also?
No, okay, so what someone is asking, what I've been calling the home team may be called the A team, all right? In this PowerPoint, it's showing up as the A team, and I just got this PowerPoint like 20 minutes before the webinar. This is what someone is asking. Someone is saying, okay, so these folks that are in my A team, as I build my A team, am I passing those up to my Max team leader? You're not passing up the people, the commissions or the bonuses from their activity is being passed up to your Max team leader. You're not passing up the people, but the bonuses from those 6, yes, those go up to the Max team leader. Conversely, when you are now the Max team leader, Hal's team, those 2 and 6, those bonuses roll up to you. Marlene's 2 and 6, those bonuses roll up to you. Now, I say they're 2 and 6, but it goes far beyond that, because here's Marlene. She's got her 2 and 6. Let's say her 6th person, and not that she personally enrolled 6 people, but she referred to, who referred to, or she referred to, and one of those referred 3 or 4, what have you. That continues to go down in depth potentially. So from this one leg that's in your Max team, that one leg could produce hundreds of folks that eventually wind up purchasing packages. So you do not, you're passing up in those first 6, you're passing up the bonus money to the Max team leader above, but you're not passing up the people, because the people still wind up in your unilevel, and if you personally enroll them, you still can place them in your Jubi suite. As they build a customer base and they have customers and what have you, that customer volume still winds up in your unilevel. Their auto ships still wind up in your unilevel. So you passed up the bonus money. You did that one time in terms of completing your 6, and now everyone that's in your Max team, they pass up that bonus money to you. It's a powerful system, benefits everyone. Great question. Next question.
So, will new promoters have to purchase a package in order to sell the packages? And if they just
no.
If they just
go on.
If they just upgrade, can they purchase a package later?
Yeah. Again, all right. A new person come aboard. Will they have to own a package, purchase a package in order to sell a package? The answer to that is no. Well, what they will need to do to get to their Max team is if they never purchase a package themselves, which they never have to, they would need to personally enroll 3 in their A team as opposed to 2. They need to enroll 3 in their A team and still have a total of 6 in their A team, whether they personally enrolled them or someone else did or what have you, to complete their A team before they go on to their Max team. Okay? So why is this important? Because while we're going to be promoting the 1250s and the 500s, 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 obviously there's going to be some folks that don't have it, and then we're still going to be talking with folks across the globe. Where in Jamaica or we're in the Dominican, for instance, I know in the Dominican when I was just there, when I gave them $1 US, they gave me 41 Dominican pesos. So 500 US dollars is quite a bit of Dominican pesos. So we need to make sure that there's always a system for the person that maybe they're builder. Queen, I know this from one of our revenue sharing experiences where I had a builder that came aboard with me, but he was just, had some misfortune, and he could only make a $140 purchase with that company. So he would have had a challenge making a $500 purchase at the time that he came to us in that particular business enterprise. So what can he do? What he did there, he made a $140 purchase, he rolled up his sleeves, and he went to work. What he can do here is at least upgrade, get a product, set up something on AutoShip, what have you, at least upgrade, all right, then go and start building, whether he purchased the actual full package or not. And I think, Queen, what will happen, well, let me just leave it at that. Let's go to the next question.
Well, okay, going back to the grandfathered points, so that means to give away all our Jubi bucks now to get grandfathered into the extended point earnings?
Yeah, and what I don't know, because again, I had that conversation right before we got on this webinar, I don't know if all of those JubiBucks have to be used for those points, or if that falls in under the quality score piece. I would imagine it will probably fall in under the quality score. So, but I'm not quite sure, and I just know there's going to be a grandfathering effect. So what may happen is you get your points grandfathered. Some of us may still need to work on that quality score. I don't know where the quality score fits in on that. Now, what I would say is, yes, if you got JubiBucks, like Queen, I've got quite a few JubiBucks. Okay, so once we fully understand when it comes from the corporate, what corporate wanted me to convey to our folks tonight, they didn't have all the details, or at least I didn't have time to get all the details, was that 1, 2, 3. All right, that you weren't going to have a situation where someone who's J today, and they've been with us from day one, someone who's J today, and they started earning points, and the calendar started on April the 8th, and they'll be coming up on 80 days by the end of this month. We didn't want that person saying, oh my gosh, I understand the modifications. I understand why the DLB is down, but my gosh, did it have to go down when my points are going to be expiring in 20 days? Your points will not be expiring in 20 days. That's the big point. So we'll get all the details a little bit later on. Next question.
How have you confirmed that going forward our JubiBucks will remain in our accounts until they are claimed?
I don't know the time frame of going forward.
Okay.
Let me tell you what I understand. Okay. Mm-hmm. And again, we got a lot of moving parts here, so let me tell you what I understand. The attorneys want points awarded only when the JubiBucks are actually used. The attorneys also want Jubi points. I'm sorry. They don't want Jubi points awarded only when the JubiBucks are used. They also they're cool with Jubi points being awarded for other small activities, so long as it doesn't require that people have to make a purchase. As an example, Queen, there might be something small that the new person can do, the average person can do, so on and so forth, that they didn't have to buy JubiBucks and give them away to score points, but by the fact that they did this small activity that would help get the name of the company out, they might generate, some points, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, my understanding is that when all of the dust settles and all the programming's in place, right now the biggest part the program is working on is programming, the commissions on the packages and the Max team and all that good stuff. My understanding is that ultimately what's going to happen is points from giving away JubiBucks are only going to be credited once those JubiBucks are used. Now, my question was, okay, well, you got somebody, like me, I've got a lot of JubiBucks right now. If or let's say you don't have a lot of JubiBucks. You've got 100 JubiBucks. You got 100 JubiBucks, and you are advertising for 100 JubiBucks, and someone registers, but they don't use the JubiBucks. Okay, they don't use the JubiBucks. Well, my understanding is the way it's going to be programmed is the JubiBucks that they registered with will not be deducted from your account and then converted to points until such time that they use the JubiBucks. Queen, I would also imagine, this is me talking based on some conversations I've had in the past, I would also imagine that the expiration of those JubiBucks will probably get much shorter. It's always been the place that the expiration of JubiBucks was going to be about 30 days. Okay, I don't think that they ever turned the light on that. I don't think that was ever enforced yet, but that's always been the case that JubiBucks were going to be about a 30-day window. I would imagine that we'll probably see that shorten up quite a bit. It might be 7 days. In other words, if a person has opted in to get JubiBucks, and if they haven't used them in 7 days, are they going to use them over the next 23? Chances are, if someone's going to use the JubiBucks, they're probably going to do it, as soon as they've registered, they know they're registered, hey, let me go in and get these JubiBucks, or do it, very soon thereafter. So I do believe that programming is going to be in place where the Jubi bucks will not be deducted from your Jubi buck balance until such time that they're actually used. Then you would get the Jubi points. Don't know what the time frame of that programming would be. Great question. Next question.
Do you need to purchase a package each month?
No. If they're talking about the starters, that starter package is a one-time purchase. If anyone purchases that, not if, when people purchase that, that's a one-time purchase. And then, obviously, what we'll want to do, there's going to be the steps. Okay, you purchase your package, and once you come inside, choose your auto ship, what products you want delivered to you on a monthly basis, or if you're international audience, what service or what have you do you want to subscribe to? That's a digital delivery type of product or service or what have you. But no, people aren't going to be repurchasing $4.99 and $12.50 packages again and again. No. Next question.
Okay. What happens to the people already on your team as far as the Max team goes?
Okay, this is where it's going to be very important because you see the company on this thing says position yourself by June 17th. What we really want to be doing is as soon as the packages go live, all right, we would like for everyone that's currently in the that's active in the business, let's go and just go crazy to build out our A team so that you can get Max team qualified. And then my understanding is what's going to happen is if you got people in your existing team, okay, you got people in your existing team, they're working on getting Max team qualified, and you're working on getting Max team qualified. That then what's my understanding is what's going to happen is those sales are going to be held in terms of the bonuses, and then Queen, if you happen to hit your Max team, all right, you hit your Max team, you've gotten your 6 sales, you hit your Max team, then everyone else that was in your lineage, if you will, okay, personal enrollees and what have you, then your Max team qualified. Then when they have however many sales they've gotten, whether they've gotten the full A team completed or 1/3 of the way there or half of the way there, those sales would be credited to your Max team. So that hopefully what happens, Queen, is you and others start hitting these $1,000 bonuses, $1,000 bonuses, $1,000 bonuses. So next week, when we know, we'll probably know tomorrow or Friday, okay, the packages are ready to go or what have you, then, we're going to be doing some blitzes, to get as many people in front of this information about getting started as possible to try to move you as quickly as we can through your A team, so that people that you have existing in the business, as they move through their A team, I'd like you to, to get Max teams so that their A team sales wind up happening in your Max team. That make a little sense? I know that might have been a little clumsy, but that's how I understand.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
What is your Skype room?
Oh gosh, we got several of them now.
Well, what they need to do is connect with their sponsor, or go to connect with you at gift-pm and say they want to be in the Jubi Skype room.
Okay. Here's my Skype ID here. So if you want to, there's I've seen a couple really good Skype rooms pop up over the last couple days. Very positive tone. There's been some Skype rooms I know some people have opted to get out of because maybe the tone wasn't what they wanted. So these Skype chat rooms, I know that one of the moderators, and I don't know all the moderators, but I know that these couple that if you aren't already a part of a good Skype chat room, it's got positive tone. And Queen, positive tone doesn't mean BS, okay?
Right.
If my mama's on the phone, don't get me, okay? But it doesn't mean that people aren't talking about real issues and even challenges when they occur. What it means is we're dealing with them professionally and we're dealing with them positively. We're dealing with them professionally and we're dealing with them positively, okay? That's what we mean by a positive Skype room, and that's really all you want to ever be associated with, are people that celebrate you and not people that just tolerate you. So if you're hanging around someone and they just tolerate you, love them, but love them from afar. love them from afar, because you don't want to be around negative people. You don't want to be around people that aren't helping you get to where you want to go. So GIF-PM, add me to Skype, tell me, ask me, hey, can you put me in a good Skype chat room? There's 3 or 4 of them that I know are really good Skype chat rooms, and you get some great connection with leaders. Next question.
Are third-party providers being notified, and they don't seem to perform unless we have JubiBucks available?
Let's talk about third-party providers. I have not spoken with the Fly Guy folks, and of course that's been the third-party provider that we have encouraged people to consider. And the reason we encourage people to consider them is because in terms of getting customers, we knew they went through an audit process with the company, so the company could see how they were directing leads to your site. So we know that these people saw your site. And there were a bunch of other sites that popped up that never went through that type of audit process, and I couldn't tell you how, you know, if the people saw your site or they just wound up being some registered customer, what have you. Now, remember that system is on a rotator, all right? So I can tell you that there are some people that got a good amount of customers, some people that didn't get as many because it's on a rotator. And then there were some people who got customers that actually used JubiBucks, some who got several customers that used JubiBucks, and then some people got customers but none of the folks who used JubiBucks. The customers were real. What the customers did when they got there is another issue in terms of them opting in and then, well, do I want to use the JubiBucks or do I not want to use the JubiBucks? I've not spoken with the Fly Guy folks in a little bit, and primarily, Queen, because my focus has been on absorbing and starting to understand as much as I can as to the modifications, what they were going to be, why the modification needed to take place so that I could articulate that to our audience, and then working with teammates and leaders and what have you so they could understand things and so on and so forth. Going forward, I don't know. I don't know what the role of any of the third parties will be. You know, we'll still be placing ads each day, but to be honest with you, I've got to have that discussion with not only corporate in terms of any role that third parties may or may not play, but also with that particular vendor. I do want to kill, I know one of the rumors that was going on in one of those Skype rooms that some of you maybe jumped out of. I have no interest. I have no financial interest. I never have had any financial interest in Fly Guy. I just know that when we were with other companies, that many of us got customers. Those customers never even saw our site, and that was not only unhealthy for the company, but then that didn't allow us to get to, you know, customers that would use the you know, in our world, JubiBucks and so on and so forth. And so since I knew some of the things that Fly Guy was doing in some of the media buys, did they come out and have the results that I had hoped that they would have had? No. Could that change in the future because, you know, they're testing this, testing that? Very well could. If you are on a monthly subscription and you don't feel like you got what you should have gotten, is it okay for you not to have that monthly subscription? Yeah, you're a business person. Yeah, you are. My plan, personally, this is me, I'm only talking about me, my plan was I wanted to go, because I think any advertising platform or any lead gathering platform or what have you, that you need to give it some time, okay? And so my game plan, Queen, was I wanted to have 90 days and see what happens in 90 days. Now, some of you maybe can absorb that cost, maybe some of you can't. And if you can't absorb that cost for 90 days, then don't. Then don't, okay? So, but I don't have any more to share with you other than that because I just haven't taken the time because of everything else that's been going on. Priorities. Next question.
Should we, okay, 3 people, I mean, okay, Shelly asked 3 people and it's not 2, is the question, to enroll. And I think that there was there's 2 different things that you said. One is you get 2 who get 2, and then if you don't have the funds or you choose not to purchase a package, then you must get 3 instead of just 2. And so if you
yeah, that's my understanding. Give me a moment. Hold on. Okay, so let's make sure we understand this. Okay. Now, all of us are upgraded, so we are not required, nor can we, purchase the starter package. So from that standpoint, we are all starter package qualified. So let's answer this question going forward. John comes aboard next week. John purchases a starter package. John needs to then have 2 and 6. 2 people that purchase the package directly from him, and then in his entire A team, at least 6. So whether he's responsible for all 6 personally, whether he refers Ann and Mike, and then Ann and Mike refer to, now it's got a total of 6. He gets qualified. He now gets promoted to max team leader, or he brings on Ann and Mike. Mike doesn't do anything right now, but Ann goes to work. She refers one, and that person refers one. However, we get the 6. Okay. He purchased a package. He's package qualified. He only needs 2 personally enrolled that purchased the package, and then a total team of 6. He's now max team qualified. Now, John comes aboard. Either does not have the resources, or for whatever reason chooses not to outlay the resources. For whatever reason, he doesn't purchase a starter pack. Either the $4.99 or the $12.50. All right, can he still get to his max team? The answer is a resounding yes. How does he get to his max team? He then enrolls 3 that purchase packages in his A team, still completes his 6, and then now that qualifies him to start his max team. Okay? So that way, Queen, if a person says, boy, I love this, I just don't have the money or the resources or what have you, well, they still can come aboard and go to work. And the reason this is important for you, let's look a little bit down the road. You're all now max team leaders, okay? The reason that's important for you is because if you had John come into your max team to build his A team, he didn't have the resources to purchase a package, that's okay. But in order for him to get to his max team, he now does 3 and 6. 3 personally enrolled that purchase packages, and then a total of 6 on his team. You still are going to get a $1,000 bonus. Okay, so hopefully that answers that question. Great question. Next question.
Okay, okay, Alice is asking a question about Fly Guy and customers that she didn't receive. Should she send a support ticket to Fly Guy?
Yeah.
Alice, could you please send in a support ticket to Fly Guy to find out the reason? Now, should we choose to renew our subscription at the diamond level?
That's totally a business decision on you. I am, but I can't speak for everyone. Everybody has a totally separate financial situation. If you got the resources, or maybe you might even have commission dollars there, and you don't need to put that $200 in your pocket. I am, because I also understand that the $200 a month subscription also gives me the volume, and of course I need to have my CV, but it gives me the volume to also, not only are we talking about points here, all right, and particularly given the fact that points are going to be grandfathered with longer lengths of time. Now, I know you don't know the time frames, but I know what was mentioned to me. I don't want to mention it, and if they had to be changed, because what's happening a lot now, Queen, is that there's discussions happening, but a lot of those discussions go back to the consultants and the attorneys, particularly the compensation plan consultants, because one of the things that the comp consultants are going to do is they're going to run the numbers on that to see what that means in terms of profitability, what that means. There's a certain profit margins the company needs to have in order to stay in business and thrive and so on and so forth. And so so this was mentioned to me. I'm sure they're going back to the consultants to say, okay, this is what we like to do. If a person is Jade, we extend this amount. If they're a Ruby, we extend this amount, and we extend this amount, so on and so forth. So, Queen, knowing what I've heard, if $200 for your monthly subscription does not impact your family, doesn't impact the quality of life of your family on a month-to-month basis, I would keep that, you know, and stay diamond. If it does impact your quality of life right now, then you need to come down to what makes sense for you and your family. Never hurt yourself. Remember, that's one of our rules. Never hurt yourself. Never put your family in harm's way. If it's tight, if it creates any type of financial pressure, Queen, I can tell you my biggest thing, you know, when I'm looking at my financial goals, the number one thing for me is that I absolutely detest is financial pressure.
No.
I want to know my bills are going to be paid.
Yes.
So just make sure it's not going to hurt your family. Next question.
Okay, you may understand Aubrey's question better than I, because I'm not really sure what
time is it, so I can find it easily.
8:24.
Oh, wow. That was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, well, all these questions are a long time. We have a lot more, and my next question to you is how much longer did you want to go, because the questions are continuous.
Well, for me, it's optional, so I'll take it to the top of the hour. I'll take it to 10 o'clock.
Okay.
If you've got to go, I understand. If you've got to go walk the dog. You have to go walk Emmy. Okay. 824, give me a moment. With the 18, it is now 4 purchase packages from who you have personally enrolled, or 4 purchase packages from your first generation, like mentioned last week. With your 18, it is now 4 purchase packages from who you have personally enrolled, or 4 purchase packages from the first generation like we mentioned last week. Aubrey, I don't know that I understand your question. If you enrolled these 2 green spots here, Hal and Melinda, they are, oh, okay. The first generation that we have talked about in the past, the 10, 5, and 1s.
Yes.
Let me think about this. Let me make sure I'm answering. I know that's from a JubiBuck standpoint, so let's put that one to rest. Let me think if there's anything else in our compensation plan. No, 10, 5, and 1 was based on JubiBuck, so let's put 10, 5, and 1 to rest. All right, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Let's have the memorial service for that. Now, I think we're still being paid that. I haven't really looked at the numbers, but I think we're still getting those JubiBuck commissions for the time being until everything is programmed out. But ultimately, no more JubiBuck commissions going forward. So we put that to rest, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Now, you enrolled Hal, you enrolled Marlene, they purchased a package. They would be, right now, they would be on your first level in the unilevel. So forget about the 10, 5, and 1. They'd be on your first level in the unilevel. Plus, you got your direct sale bonus of 10%. So that 10% did not go away. That 10% of a personal, of a direct sale bonus, that's still the same. The 5 and the 1, those go away, but they go away in lieu of those huge bonuses, $1,000 bonuses and $10,000 bonuses in the Max team. If they would be on your first level in the unilevel, and then you'd have the option to use the Jubi Suite to place them somewhere else in your unilevel, whether it's staying on the first level, going on the second, third, fourth, fifth, so on and so forth. This gentleman here, Rodney, let's assume this gentleman here, Rodney was referred by Hal. Rodney, referred by Hal. Rodney, referred by Hal. Well, Rodney would be second level in your unilevel unless Hal, who happens to be Rodney's enroller, eventually places him somewhere else in the unilevel. So that's, Queen, this is what I want us to get. This is how we could have, even our Joe and Susie, I'm not that great at recruiting just yet, could wind up having people on their 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th level. That those people on the 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th level, either cumulatively or maybe you get a Luis Cardo on your 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th level, and she goes for it, and she eventually is making $10,000 a month through the volume going through her unilevel, but she's on your 5th level or 6th level or 7th level or 8th level, and then you've qualified to match her. That's why this really gets me excited. No, the DLB doesn't work the way that many of us want it to work. I understand that. I've got that. I now, Queen, it took me a while, but I've done my memorial service, okay? There's still going to be DLB. The character's going to change. But, Queen, I'm telling you, those who stay the course, you never know who could fall on your 5th, your 6th, your 7th, or 8th level, no matter how they got there. And that could be in time some really big matching income, okay? So let's do away with the 10, 5, and 1. That's going to be laid to rest. And then it'll be these folks that come aboard, they get the packages. They're either in your A team, or obviously they could be in your Max team. Even when you promote other Max team leaders and they're building their Max team, the people that they're building their Max team with are still going to wind up being in your unilevel, on whatever level they happen to be. Next question.
Can you please explain starter volume again?
Starter volume was based on these packages. And again, all of this was sent to me quick, fast, in a hurry. So some of the terminology will be different. Like I expect, Queen, that I don't know if it's going to be called premium package. This was kind of done for me real quick with our audience. Let's say it's called a premium package to $4.99. That will probably have maybe like a $5.49 retail value. Maybe the products in there, if you bought them retail, might be $5.49 versus $4.99. This elite package of $12.50, retail value will probably be more like $12.99 or maybe $13.49 or $13.50 or what have you. So the starter volume is going to be the volume coming from these packages, particularly, Queen, when you are talking about your Max team, for instance. Remember, you're going to get a $1,000 bonus. There's two ways to get that $1,000 bonus. Did you have 6 of the premium $4.99 packages that sold, or did you have a cumulative amount of $3,500 in starter volume from these packages? Now, a customer buying Max Natural at retail does not get paid out in this structure. That gets paid out in the unilevel. So let's say, Queen, these folks are in your Max team as an example. Hal makes a $500 purchase. Let me pull out my calculator. Hal makes a $500 purchase. Marlene makes a $12.50. Rodney makes a $12.50. And Jonathan makes a $500. The Queen, at this point, only 4 of these packages were sold, but because there were a couple $12.50s mixed in, you hit the $3,500 mark quicker than you hit the 6 sales mark. You get a $1,000 bonus. If all of these folks had done the $500 package, then when they all did the $500 package, 6 of those, you got a $1,000 bonus. Okay? So whichever comes first. The 6 at 5 come first, or if the 3,500 comes first, you get a $1,000 bonus. Next question.
If I am hearing correctly, existing promoters will have to have 6 promoters to start the A team, but new promoters can buy a package or only sell 3 packages to start their A team. Am I understanding correctly?
No. Everyone's going to start their A team. Everyone's going to start their A team. Completing the A team is having 6 sales in your A team, okay? Because we're going to be considered starter package qualified, we are not required to purchase a package, so we can go and have 2 that get 2 to get to our various Max teams. If John comes aboard next week and does not purchase a starter package, then he needs to have 3 personally enrolled that then ultimately wind up being 6 total sales. Doesn't matter how those 6 got there, whether it was him referring all 6, whether he referred his 3, 1, 2, 3, and then one of his referred 1, and another one referred 1, and another one referred 1, however that happens, okay? So the advantage for us is that we can be the 2 and 6 because we're going to be flagged as starter package qualified, though we did not purchase a package. And the reason that's going to happen is that so no one feels like they have to purchase a package in order to be starter package qualified. Okay? For those who've already upgraded. Now, I think somebody asked a question earlier. I think it might have been Aubrey who asked a question earlier. Well, hey, should I get someone who's an associate now to go on and upgrade now so that they would be considered starter package qualified? And yes, you can do that. That's not how I'm going to deal with my associates, but we're all big boys and big girls, so you determine what strategy you may want to use. Queen, what I'm going to do with my associates, people, when I say my associates, people that I personally enrolled that have not upgraded, is I'm going to blitz to get them on webinars or talk to them personally or what have you once the packages go live to say, hey, let's get you purchasing one of these packages so you're starter package qualified, and I'm going to sell them on this new plan. Because one of the reasons some of them may not have upgraded is because they may have been concerned. And I know this has been the case with some folks. They may have been concerned because of some of the issues that have happened with other companies in the revenue sharing world, or whether or not we were going to be here for a long haul or what have you. So now we squelched that one. All the areas that gave us the biggest amount of exposure, those things are being squelched. Those things are being squelched. Is there a daily leadership bonus? Yes, but hey, the problems or the concerns that the attorneys raise, commissioning on Jubi bucks and points, you know, how points are going to be awarded and what have you, all that's being addressed. So from that standpoint, Queen, I don't have those regulatory concerns that I may have, you know, I just don't know how the regulators are going to look at it when they come in, that kind of thing. So I'm going to go to my associates, Queen.
Right.
And I'm going to start there and see if I can get, you know, those folks, and then quickly go through those and then, you know, start promoting and get some other folks taking a look and so on and so forth to get my 6 so I can get to my max team and start getting those $1,000 bonuses. Next question.
Right. When the starter packages reset after your first 6, do we have to personally enroll 2 that have purchased packages of the 6 that is required for the next reset?
No. Once you are in your max team, okay, you could be in your max team and personally never enroll anyone else. So let's say you do your 2 and 6, complete your 18. Your 2 and 6. Now I call it 18 now. We've called it home team before. I think the company's going to use the terminology 18. So you've enrolled 2 and 6 to complete your 18. All right, we've done that. Now you are a max team leader. You enroll Hal. You enroll Hal right here. He starts your max team. You may not ever enroll anyone else again. Now I'm going to suggest that you do, that you continue to build, but you could essentially, what you could do at this point is you could focus 100% of your energy on helping Hal get to his max team. So that when Hal brings on Marlene here, now Marlene needs to do 2 and 6. So your focus, see, some of you this is perfect for, because I'll give you a good example, Queen. I'll give you a great example, all right? Zeke and Jerry Stewart on the other side of the line. They would tell you they're not the biggest recruiters, but they are darn fantastic builders. You know why, Queen? They put a lot of focus and energy on building the team. Zeke could tell you the team is the theme. It's all about the team. So someone like Zeke, instead of him trying to go 50, 75, 100 wide in his max team, Zeke is probably going to have that 1 person, 2, maybe 3 people in the max team that he's personally enrolled, but really then focus on working with Hal so that Hal gets promoted, because he knows that if he can get Hal promoted so that Hal starts his own max team, Hal can start getting those $1,000 bonuses. And then you could be working with Marlene and working with Rodney and working with Anthony and working with Sharon and working with Catherine. And then they have 2 and 6, or at least they're working on 2 and 6, so now you're working with them to help them build their A teams in your max teams, and when there's 6 sales and or 3,500 in volume, whichever comes first, boom, $1,000 bonus. When there's 6 more sales, another $3,500 in volume, boom, another $1,000 bonus. And that can happen again and again and again and again. Queen, there's going to be some folks, it may take them 3 months to get that first $1,000 bonus, and then maybe it only took them 2 months to the next $1,000 bonus, and then they got a $1,000 bonus every single month. So this is what excites me, guys. This is what excites me, because then maybe it's $1,000 every day. But here's where I want us to draw a difference. Okay, I know we've been used to revenue sharing, seeing the numbers on the screen, but the reality is, Queen, most of us saw a lot of numbers on the screen that didn't necessarily translate to our pockets.
Right.
So I know of a guy, he's on the webinar. I'm sorry to pour salt in the wounds because I had to use your example. Won't call your name. I know of a guy in a revenue sharing model before Jubi who built up to 900, almost 1 million points, never, ever, ever took out a commission. So he saw a lot of numbers on the screen, but it didn't translate to his wallet. I know of a guy who built up to 500,000 points in another system, and he probably at that time was only putting about $2,000 a month in his pocket. Personally, Queen, when we did our first commission run, I personally, on the screen from the commissions was over $40,000 in commissions. Queen, I didn't realize $40,000 because I took the $40,000 in commissions and purchased JubiBucks. I did some pay it forwards and things of that nature as well, but essentially I purchased JubiBucks. Now, the reason this excites me is when you get that $1,000 bonus, that's being paid to your eCash. That isn't a certain amount goes to eCash, a certain amount goes to the, no, that's getting paid to eCash. And you know what I want you to do, Queen? You might purchase a few JubiBucks because you've got a customer that you want to get some JubiBucks to. But Queen, you're not going to take 800 of your $1,000 commission and purchase JubiBucks. That ain't going to happen. You're going to put 900, 950 in your pocket.
All right.
Very next check cycle. Give me my money. And so, Queen, I envision that as we start to change our mindset, I know that's easier said than done, I envision that real money going into people's pockets will actually in time be higher because the focus is different. We're getting the bonus monies, we're getting the commissions from the unilevel, we're getting the matching bonuses, and instead of taking all of that money, going to buy more JubiBucks to generate more Jubi points, we're taking that money and we're paying off some bills. We're paying off some debts. We're closing out some credit cards. We're taking some of this cash is trash that we're earning, and we're starting to get some silver, and we're starting to get some gold. So it won't just be on the screen. I know the biggest challenge is between our ears. Is that right? Between our ears? Anyway, we got to change our mindset. And that's not easy because some of us, for 2 years, we've been on this path. And now all of a sudden, you know, we got to change path. I understand that's not easy. I get that. And some of us are going through a grieving process. I get that. I'm laughing because I've been dealing with that.
You're not by yourself, too, Mike. You're not by yourself.
So I'm not laughing. Believe me. All the emotions that you've dealt with, I've dealt with. And unfortunately, I probably had a few more emotions to deal with because it's not fun when people call into question your character. And I've had that happen. That ain't fun. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to press on because success and failure are on the same road. Success is just a little bit further down the road. And Queen, as I look back over my life, my greatest successes often came very closely off of what appeared to be my biggest disappointments. My greatest successes often, and sometimes it felt like it took a long time, but they often came not long after some of my greatest disappointments. Queen, let me tell you this. I'll give a good example. I was part of an investment group some years ago, and that investment group, unfortunately, things didn't work out, and we lost major six figures, about $500,000. Oh, gosh. Yeah. $500,000. Gone. Gone, 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 gone. Okay? Not long after that, I fell upon the revenue sharing world. And we had our greatest successes, financially that is, with the revenue sharing world. Okay, so now we know that revenue sharing, as we've come to love and admire and adore her, has to be modified, has to change. So, Queen, I can tell you somebody sent me something today, say, hey, check out this company, they got revenue sharing. And you know what I said to them? I'm not going to rain on your parade, no thank you, because I already know that either they'll have to make the same type changes or they're going to run into some challenges at some point. So I'm not going to participate, and I'm not going to tell anybody else to participate, so on and so forth. So, Queen, I believe that as we change our mindset and embrace this model, for those of us who are going to embrace her, and we go and build out, I may not make as much as quickly as I had seen in revenue sharing, but I've also seen that door shut abruptly. Queen, I know what it takes for my family to live an enjoyable, comfortable life. So I know anything above that, we're fine, okay? My thing is, Queen, I want to build this, and I want to build it hard, but then know that 5 years from now, the money's still coming.
Right.
Even if I'm not building it as hard at that point. I've got my sons maybe doing webinars or what have you. Matter of fact, we'll be grooming them, Queen.
That's right. I know, you got 2 of them.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Queen, last week when my oldest son graduated, it was a week ago, graduated from middle school, and he had to have his speech. I declare, boy, that was some proud daddy moment. That was a proud daddy moment. That boy made me proud. Next question.
So last night you mentioned the possibility of having smaller packages, about 150. So what happened to those?
You know what? I haven't heard anything about that. So that's a great question. I have to go back and see if there's going to be a smaller package. There may not be. I thought they were working on a smaller package. There may not be. And if there isn't, then what would happen is, for those people that don't have the $4.99 or don't have the $12.50, what we'll be encouraging them to do is to come into the system, choose an auto ship that they would like, maybe go in and purchase some products, right away, and then choose an auto ship for 30 days from now, and maybe get 50, 100 Jubi bucks. Of course, we won't be commissioned on that, but that way they can get some Jubi bucks. They can engage in giving Jubi bucks away, earning Jubi points to be in the daily leadership bonus, so on and so forth. But I haven't heard any more on the 149. Or I was thinking maybe 149. So, and that might be in favor of Queen, just simplicity. Sometimes you give folks too many options, they kind of get stuck. So even if there isn't no smaller package, and I'm led now to believe, based on this PowerPoint that I just got right before we got on, that there may not be a smaller package, because there's still a way for a person to come and get starter package qualified if they didn't have $4.99. Great question. Next question.
Okay, I'm not a great salesperson, so how do will I get kicked out of the company if I don't get the CV I need? What happens if I don't get the CV?
If you don't get the CV, no, you're not kicked out of the company, but your ability to earn on the points, you wouldn't be earning on any points until your CV requirement is met. So what I would say to you, all right, what I would say to you in terms if you're not a great salesperson or what have you is, get your mom or dad, somebody close to you, get somebody who can make that order, even if you paid it forward for them, at least until you had, customers, let's say for the next month, that would come in with that CV. This is one of the reasons why, Queen, there still is going to be a Jubi Buck culture. It's just going to be different. We're not going to tell John to come aboard with 2,500 Jubi Bucks. So we still are going to mention to John when he comes aboard, hey, you might want to buy some Jubi Bucks, but we'll pitch it to John like he would if he was buying brochures, okay? So that he can give away Jubi Bucks as an incentive. And then here's another thing, Queen, I think is going to happen. I think what's going to happen is that as people purchase packages, I really believe in time there's going to be a lot of folks purchasing the $12.50 packages. So on the $12.50 or even the $4.99, let's say you get your product pack. If you're in the U.S., you get your product pack, and like right now, as I'm in my office, I've got my Jubi box here, and I've got some Max Energy. Okay. Now I don't know what the contents of the packages are going to be. I know Max Energy right now is our #1 seller, and Max Energy is a great product to sample because this is something that you can just give to your neighbor. You could give, if you're working a job, give this to a coworker. Hey, try this out. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you like it. If you like it, give me a testimonial. If you like it, maybe consider buying some, what have you. So by having these packages, not only do we have the virtual style of sampling, but we'll actually have folks that will now have physical product that they could also sample. Let me tell you what I also think is going to happen. This won't be everyone. Okay, what I'm about to say will not be everyone, because some of our folks are internet folks, and that's all they want to do. That's all they want to do is promote on the internet, and they don't want to necessarily build offline and have home parties and have offline shows or what have you. So this may not be for you. At the same time, Queen, we've got some folks that are used to building home businesses more traditionally that aren't necessarily internet folks just yet. And they may not have a desire to be internet folks. Zeke and Jerry Stewart, I don't think Zeke's going to, Queen, I don't think that Zeke is going to want to know all the Facebook and Skype and what have you. He's a people person. So I believe you're going to have people, Queen, that when they get their packages, they may have a home party and show off these products as a sample to get people to come and join them or at least purchase the product. So the Jubi Bucks are still there. Go get your cousin. If you got to get on the phone and say, Ma, I need you to make a purchase for me. Mama says, hey, I don't have any money. Ma, look, register as a customer. Register as a customer. I'll get you the money back. Just make a purchase so I get my 30 CV. Queen, have I done that in previous enterprises where I needed CV? Sure.
Yes.
Have I paid it forward for a customer in times past because I needed CV?
Yes.
Sure. Next question. We got 6 more minutes.
Oh, U.S. Yeah, we do. We just have 6 minutes to the month. I was going to give you the 5-minute countdown, but since you said 6, I'll let you go. Let you. Okay. So U.S. leads prospects will be offered the front end hard products, and international leads will be offered the digital products on the front end. But can I guess each like the U.S. or get the other either one?
Yeah, and obviously for my international folks, they can order product all day long. Shipping still in some areas may be prohibitive. I know shipping was sent to some country, and I don't remember the country. I want to say Ghana, and it became a customs issue, okay? And so the reality is for us to ship in other countries to where physical products are moving the way we want to see them moving will probably require in those countries that we eventually get to some type of shipping fulfillment, some type of warehousing, and that's a longer process. There's typically more. It's not just as simple as saying, hey, you're in Australia, hey, you got a warehouse, hey, let's ship product there. Normally there's some other things that have to be considered there. So I know the company will be bringing on, I don't know the time frame, bringing on a consultant that's more in the international shipping, you know, opening up other areas for that. I don't expect that to happen in the next 6 months, okay? Let's just be honest there. Now, I do know there's been a discussion with a particular country. I won't say the country. They're the third leading country in terms of sales revenue for the company. And so because there's so much sales activity there, I know there's been some discussions if something could happen sooner rather than later. So for my international folks, our focus is going to be on the digital delivery products. Now, I know there's been a lot of frustration that some of the digital delivery products have not yet been delivered. I think we're going to see that sped up so that you'll have at least one portion of a travel piece. I know there's another part of a travel piece that's being, I don't know how far along that is, so I'll just leave that alone, but I know there's been discussions there. And so with these packages, whether you are outside the U.S. or inside the U.S., there'll be a package for you and your audience. Now, in terms of the U.S., I don't know that what may only be available in terms of a starter package in the U.S. may only be the physical delivery products. That is likely. Now, if we want to have some of the other digital delivery products as a side, we'll probably be able to do that in the U.S., okay? But the reason this is so important is because Mr. Regulator in the U.S. seemingly prefers consumable physical delivery products over digital delivery products in the U.S. But that's not necessarily an issue in Trinidad or in Jamaica or what have you. So that's why, for the most part, the digital delivery will be aimed at the international audience. The physical delivery will be aimed at the U.S.-based audience. Time for one more question. This will be the last one.
Does it matter what level you join as far as the J, Emerald, Diamond, Ruby, as far as the bonus is concerned?
I don't think that impacts your bonuses at all. I haven't heard anything that suggested that impacts your bonuses at all. The impact that would have would be on how many levels, for instance, you're qualified for in the unilevel. It would determine how long your points live. And remember, there's going to be what seems like there's going to be a grandfathering stage of current points. And then, Queen, there'll be the new point system where, for instance, you might give away Jubi Bucks. Let's say you give 100 Jubi Bucks away and they are used. And you might actually score something like 300 Jubi points as opposed to 100 Jubi points. Or you might get an auto ship customer that purchases $50 on auto ship, and that first order, for what I'm hearing, you would get a multiplier effect of that. So maybe you earn 5 times the amount of that first order. Wouldn't be every order, but 5 times the amount of the first order in terms of points. So your rank will still impact those newer Jubi points after the grandfathering stage. You know, how long would those Jubi points earn? 80, 85, 95, 105. But I don't think that your rank has anything to do with you getting to your, like, in other words, you're not going to have to be diamond to be able to be in your max team.
I thought you were going to answer that one quickly, Tila, and I was going to slide one more in there, but it's 10 o'clock. Straight up.
Okay. So let me, well, what I was going to say, let me ask this, let me see, tomorrow. We normally have our training webinar on Thursday nights. I believe, let's see, I know we're going to probably have an extended webinar tomorrow night with the company.
J. Joshua, Yeah, at the 9 o'clock hour, he did say extended to question and answers.
Okay. Queen, we got to what time here? Because I know we got a lot of questions that we didn't get to.
We got to we made it to 8:40, 8:38.
Okay. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Tomorrow, I will do another 7 p.m. webinar. We'll do a half and half. So if you've got folks that you have not yet, maybe folks on your team that haven't heard this message yet, we'll use a PowerPoint, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, just to make sure they understand the bonuses and how that's going to work and what have you. So we'll spend 15, 20 minutes on that, and then we'll spend the rest of our time doing more Q&A. If you would be willing to commit to that tomorrow at 7 o'clock, then put a yes in your questions box. If I don't get to see enough yeses, then I'll just wait till the 9 o'clock. If you'd be willing to commit to that, put a yes in your questions box. I'm trying to see, Queen.
Yes,
No.
there's a lot of yeses.
Oh, now they go. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
so this is what we're going to do. What we're going to do tomorrow night. Same webinar link. As soon as I get off, I'm going to go and make sure it's set for tomorrow night, so people will get reminders. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. We'll come back here. We'll spend 15, 20 minutes. Get your teammates that maybe have not heard this, or make sure they've heard it for about 15, 20 minutes. We'll go into PowerPoint, make sure they understand about the A team, the Max team, so on and so forth. Then we'll get back to as many questions as we possibly can during that time, and then we'll join J. Joshua at the 9 p.m. Webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, love each and every one of you. Appreciate each and every one of you for your continued loyalty to working with us and following with us. We truly, truly, truly are committed to your financial success and your winning in this industry. We are going to make a lot of money together. We're going to stay the course. We're going to get past these little bumps. I won't say little. We'll get past these bumps in the road. The crooked places will be made straight. All right. The rough places are going to be made plain. And ladies and gentlemen, we are all going to win big time. We are all going to win big time. So with that being said, we love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together, starting with yours. Remember, Jubi Rev, Jubi Max, not just a company, it's a movement. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
So that's it for now. If you have any questions, please get back to the person that shared this video with you, or you can send a support ticket from your JubiRev back office. Thank you. We look forward to hearing of your success.